warm welcome to this episode of We the People, coming to you from Mumbai. As Maharashtra gets a new government and a new BJP chief minister, much of the political analysis has focused on the rise of the BJP and the decimation of the Congress. Under-discussed in this election has been the successful debut performance of the Hyderabad-based MIM party led by the Owaisi brothers, a party that is a Muslim party offering itself as an option to mostly Muslim voters. At a time when even the Shiv Sena has been forced to readapt itself to a more modern template, why has this party that represents identity politics risen in the way that it has? Asaduddin Owaisi, the leader of the MIM, is now saying that the next target will be Uttar Pradesh's Muslims, clearly with the MIM setting its eyes on the national stage. Is this the Muslim right mirroring the Hindu right? Let's look at the numbers. They may not sound like too much. The MIM only won 2 seats, but these were 2 of the 24 it contested. It finished second in 3 seats and a respectable third in 6 others. What does it signify? Does it mean that the failure of Congress and the NCP, parties that have always offered themselves as a secular option, is something that these parties now need to take seriously? Or does it mean that identity politics is not on the decline in the way that one has often assumed in the aftermath of elections? I'd like to start with the BJP and the Congress. Shaina, at a time when the BJP has said, or Mr. Modi has said, that his politics is all about development, there are still critics of the BJP who would argue that in a way the Hindu right has created the space for the Muslim right, that the MIM is actually a mirror image of ultra-right-wing outfits that are on this side of the political spectrum. Does it signify something that we need to be concerned about?
I think we need to understand at the outset that we haven't played any divisive card at all. We had a star campaigner in Narendra Modi who was extremely charismatic in his individual persona. We had a very committed cadre, and we had a state leadership that only talked about development, stability and getting rid of the corrupt Congress NCP. If you want to analyze as to why the MIM won 2 seats or what were the permutation combinations, it's important to understand that in few constituencies where you had 5 contenders fighting, there was a division of vote.
Yeah.
In that division of vote, if 1 or 2 stray seats they win, I wouldn't want to attribute that as a public sentiment of the people of Maharashtra.
Sanjay, this is really a wake-up call for parties like the Congress and the NCP. The Congress especially positioned itself as the kind of de facto option for Muslim voters. Muslims have argued again and again that we are not a monolith, do not take our vote for granted. It also puts a question mark on the place of secularism in the political debate, because your distinguishing feature from China sitting next to you is, my party is more secular. Well, the minorities of Maharashtra don't necessarily think so.
See, Congress party and NCP has been in power for last 15 years. There was a sort of resentment, or you can call it anti-incumbency against the party in each and every community. Similarly, Muslims were not very happy. They were expecting something more from the Congress party, but Congress party was never either against Muslims or Hindus. We have always worked for every community. But in this election, the Muslim sentiments were instigated by MIM, and there is no problem in it. If the Muslims are not happy, somebody is going to take their vote.
But when you say
Similarly,
instigated, voters have a mind of their own. How can they be instigated?
So then are you suggesting that the Congress was instigating the Muslims in the past?
Same instigation, 1 minute. Same instigation was engineered by Samajwadi Party in 1995. Shiv Sena BJP almost got sweeping results, but almost 4 seats were taken by Samajwadi Party. Similarly, that kind of role has been played this time by MI. As far as identity politics is concerned,
yes,
BJP claims that they believe in developmental politics. They took support of Rashtriya Samaj Party, which is basically for Dhangar community reservation and their upliftment. They took support of Khap Panchayat chiefs in Haryana. They took support of Baba Ram Rahim of Guru Sacha Sauda Sera, whatever it is, I don't remember.
You can't claim, you
can't claim that you are only for the development.
Okay, let me just bring the in and then I'll come to you, Imtiaz.
You know, I just feel like laughing when I hear this, because actually the MIM is thanks to you guys always having played identity politics. So then they break away and they do their own thing. I know that this is about the MIM.
No, it's about the MIM as a reference point for the place of identity politics in our political discourse. Is it subterranean, not as visible, but still very much there?
I think that all those equations are broken down. Because what I noticed in the Lok Sabha election, as you may have done as well,
Yes.
is that it crossed caste, it crossed religion,
Yes.
and younger Indians are
Absolutely.
not interested in mosques and
Absolutely.
temples and all this kind of nonsense. So actually the RSS, which is supposed to be the mothership of the BJP, has become a little submarine which is coming in under this because it had lost its relevance. And the MIM is just cashing in on a little bit of, you know, Muslims are quite right to be afraid of the RSS.
But it's interesting that you say that the RSS in a sense is becoming more irrelevant in the minds of the ordinary Indian.
Yes.
Would the BJP concede to that, Shaina?
I think,
BJP
you know,
can't be
we-
all about development with its ideological
No,
mentor
no.
saying all Indians are Hindus.
Barkha, I think we've been fighting this perception versus reality battle for the longest time.
Right.
The
1
RSS
minute.
is truly a nationalistic organization that believes in justice to all and appeasement to none.
How do
Dialogue
you read the
to
Bajrang Dal and the Vishwa
No,
Hindu
I'm not
Parishad?
talking about the Bajrang
They
Dal
are
or the
from the
Vishwa.
RSS.
I'm talking about the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. All along we have seen vote bank politics, divisive politics where people are appeasing sections of society. 2014 shows you that the youth is really not bothered. They only want to know
So
about
that's what Tavleen is
development
saying.
and
She's saying that's what the young
that's
people
exactly
want.
my
They
point.
don't want
But-
the old ideology of the RSS, wants the parentship, as it were, of the BJP. Now, Imtiaz, as somebody who's been a former colleague at NDTV, you've made your debut with this MIM election. Respond to what Tavleen said. People today don't want to talk about mosques and mandirs. They want to talk about roti kapra makan. Yet, when Asaduddin Owaisi was campaigning here in Maharashtra, he was exhorting voters to build thousands of mosques and saying, har mosque ka naam ab Babri Masjid rakhiye. Now, the point is the MIM does stand for identity politics in a very open, unapologetic way. What is its place in modern India? Even if there's a Hindu right, is the answer a Muslim right?
Well, Barkha, I totally agree with what Tavleen is saying. But what has happened over the years is that the definition of secularism according to the Congress and the NCP was, if you don't vote for the Congress, if you don't vote for the NCP, then you are communal. And so far in all these years, there was no alternative. So the Congress and the NCP would say, if you don't vote for us, then see BJP will come to power. Then Shiv Sena will come to power. And this is how they have been taking votes from the Muslims, the Dalits and the other backward classes. People have realized they are being taken for granted. Look at the number of seats. The Muslim communities are being represented in the assembly and the parliament. Sharad Pawar should make sure that at least one Muslim goes to the parliament from Maharashtra.
But is the answer to have a Muslim party for Muslims? Is this like a modern day Muslim league?
But what is the problem, Barkha? If Yadavs can have Samajwadi Party, Bahujan Samaj can have Bahujan Samaj Party, if Marathas can have Rashtrawadi Congress, then why? What is the problem with the country when 4 Muslims get together, the entire country is low? What is happening? Why Muslims are getting together?
It's a valid
We are just
question.
2 MLAs that have come and the entire country now seems to be, it's the biggest problem.
Zafar Sareshwala, what's the problem?
I'll add what Sanjay Nirupam ji said. He's forgotten that MIM for longest years has been an ally of Congress party.
That's true.
So
That's
you
true.
should
So when you
please-
talk about them instigating,
For longest time.
instigating
Samajwadi
voters,
Party
please
was
remember
for
that.
longest
Yes.
time you are an ally.
Samajwadi Party was after that.
So having said that, Barkha, this any identity will not work. It could have worked 20 years back. Now it will not work. MIM, for example, you know,
Yes.
in the present election, MIM party, I would put it in a different spectrum, but the candidates which they had put, for example, your own colleague, I mean, he was the only one in that constituency, he was unblemished. Second, Baikala candidate, Waris Pathan. He is a known lawyer in the High Court. His father was a
Yeah.
judge. People in that constituency in Baikala, not all Muslims have voted for him. For God's sake, if every single Muslim of Baikala would voted for him, he would have had a resounding victory. So people have voted for right people. Hindus or Muslims, they have same problem. A Hindu poor or a Hindu Muslim. He wants jobs, he wants education.
But the political
He wants-
rhetoric
No.
of the MIM will
It
be
will not
different.
work. See, it will not work. This rhetoric will not work the kind it has not worked for MNS. What happened? Last time they won 13 seats. This time they only won 1 seat. So it could have worked for you can take for God's sake BJP alone. What was BJP 20 years back?
So you're
Grave.
basically saying voters are rejecting
Voters
identity
will
politics.
reject people and the parties will have to reinvent themselves.
I think in one
Okay.
line it
Yeah.
just means performance or perish.
Syed Mirza, do you then accept that the voter has changed, that India has changed? Because the ordinary Hindu and the ordinary Muslim have exactly the same expectations from their leaders. Do you agree?
No, I think we're all suffering from amnesia. Doesn't it? This is the age of amnesia. If you see the journey historically of all these political parties, the MIM is the new kid on the block. Take the BJP. From 1984 onwards, you just see the journey of these parties and you realize how identity politics actually gives you incredible benefits at the ballot.
Even now?
Even now, and if you happen to be the majority in terms of identity politics of being Hindu, it gives you incredible benefits. Subterraneously, no matter what people say over here, I believe it exists. You can talk about development, it is used beautifully, but simultaneously there are other satraps below the surface who have other agendas and they play it out on the fields of UP or Gujarat or Maharashtra.
And so what is the
And
MIM
also
to
the
you?
MIM. What I'm getting at.
Yes.
This is, I think, an outcome. Are we aware, sitting here today, that since 1947 till 2014, do you know the number of riots that have occurred in this country? Does anybody know over here? Small, minor, big scuffles, etc. to slaughter? It's more than 55,000. More than 55,000
But I think
riots.
the point
let me
being made is
continue.
that things
So
have
let me
changed,
continue.
that the things
The
have changed.
argument starts with Muslim identity politics primarily from here is, we all need to talk about education and jobs. I completely agree with it. But before all of that, how do you guarantee safety of life, home, property? Before all of this starts. Look, my name is Syed Mirza. Now I'm going to be branded. I can see the hate mail hitting me all across the board. I never was a Muslim.
It's your
I'm an atheist.
imagination, Syed.
No, I'm an
It's your
atheist.
imagination.
I was always, please, I think we need to see the nature of a sullen anger which exists in the minority community. It is not really obviously manifest, and you see a few repercussions that come with things like the MIM.
So may I just get Tavleen to respond to this, that the MIM is in a sense a reaction to the fact that there is an absence of a sense of security with a dominant force, where Syed Mirza argues identity politics, even for the BJP, exists under the surface. It may be a good cop, bad cop act. It may have been outsourced to minor players, but it's there.
I don't agree at all. Because if you listen to the speeches of Akbar Owaisi, particularly his speeches in Hyderabad, etc., that got him into trouble, that had him sent to jail, it was viciously anti-India that he was talking, right? So it does the right to point out that they've been an ally of the Congress party. In Kerala, there's an army, a jihadi army, that is an ally of the Congress party.
What is a jihadi army?
Yeah, there is no party called Jihadi Army.
Naveen, they are ally of the communists.
I'll clarify. There was a story in the newspapers last year of a training camp where jihadis were being trained. And it was an ally. I can't remember the name of it.
Maybe an outfit, but that is not Congress party's alliance.
What I'm
all over the bloody world.
He's saying don't believe everything you read in the papers.
For God's sake, if that's the source of truth,
But
you're
what
dead.
I'm trying to say to you is that maybe we're witnessing the end
What a
of
waste.
the Congress
Newspapers.
socialist
Or the
secular
television
empire, where secularism itself was defiled by the Congress party to such an extent that somebody like Modi could rise and say, we won't talk about this anymore because it's wrong. I'm very sad that my old friend Syed sees that it's just, you know, something that's renewal. It's not. The past has gone
I have
away.
a point of view which is, believe me, all identity politics, I think, is a gross...
It's the end of it.
No, it is an attack on the Constitution of India. Any identity.
know
But
that
she
that's
agrees with
given.
you on that. But I think the disagreement is whether it's still alive and in what
Can
form.
I- can I-
alive
can I-
and kicking.
Sanjay Nirupam, one line.
Because of social conflicts, because of different social identities, identity politics is going to survive. Though it is bad, but you cannot say that it is over or it
So
will be
secular.
over. No, though it's bad, I'm accepting it is bad, but you cannot finish it.
Okay, Kumar Ketkar and Ratan Sharda. Kumar, I'll start with you. Is there a declining space for identity politics?
Well, actually, identities exist and we cannot obfuscate the issue. And we cannot discuss identity politics only in the context of MIM or Hindu-Muslim. Is Tamil an identity? How much noise we have made about Tamil identity?
Yeah.
Both the parties, DMK and DMK, play upon Tamil politics, Tamil identity. Akali Dal also plays
But
on
in
such.
Maharashtra this time, the
question is
Marathi Manuskar did not
identities-
work. The MNS and the Shiv
identities.
Sena
India
found
is
that to talk a different
India is a
language.
unique country in the world. which has multiple identities, and Congress was a federation of all those multiple identities. When Congress began to give up its role of being a federation of multiple identities, it began to have many parties with different identities. Till 1967, there was no Tamil party dominant in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
There was no Akali Dal for a long time. There was no Muslim politics, and if Muslim politics was there, it was part of the Congress from Maulana's days.
Yes.
The identities began to get separated from Congress because Congress began to give up the federation of identity politics. Identities cannot be wished away. Identities will exist. Whether identities become divisive or should become divisive, that is a question, and I think that will not last too long.
What does this debut performance of the MIM say to you?
I don't think it is communal, because they had many Dalit candidates. They have been voted by Hindus also in Barkha region. So MIM did not appeal only for Muslims, though MIM was voted in by Muslims. That's
So
a fact.
MIM is a Muslim party, Imtiaz.
Muslim
In the
party.
way that the RSS is a Hindu organization, the MIM is a Muslim
Barkha,
party.
the fact is,
Dalit
a
candidates.
section of the media is creating a monster out of this party. They're saying that now that MIM has come, there's going to be riots in Maharashtra.
MIM
the
has
thing
not
is,
campaigned-
look at the number of Dalit candidates that MIM has fielded. Look at the
but
Hindu
MIM
candidates.
But there
been
have
voted-
been reports of anti-Hindu slogans at victory rallies of the MIM. Akbar Owaisi went to jail for 5 months for a hate speech. So my question
But
to
I
you
can
is,
challenge
when
you.
we
You
attack
show
the
me one
Hindu right,
statement
don't
where
we
we
have
have
to attack the
made
Muslim right
anti-national
also?
statements. Yeah.
We will leave,
But-
we will take the Taj Mahal and what will be remaining here? Some broken temples. That's Akbar Owaisi's speech.
You said anti-national statements.
That's
Those are not
anti-national.
anti-national
I'm sorry,
statements.
that's
What they are saying
anti-national.
is the contribution of the Muslims are being ignored in this country. Now
Okay.
that is the
I want to
issue.
get Ratan Shah
Look
then
at the
now.
number of Hindu candidates even the MIM has fielded in Hyderabad. MIM fielded a Hindu candidate. She got elected against a Muslim candidate. So it's a perception, it's a monster that is being created by some of the media.
I want to bring Ratan Sharda in. Now, Ratan Sharda, the question is this. Have parties like the MIM got a fillip because of the failure of the Congress? Or have they in part also been created by, as what Tavleen calls, the Muslims have a legitimate reason to fear the Hindu right?
Identity politics is not something new. It is not started by MIM. It started way back in Khilafat Andolan, which Congress supported. They supported orthodox Muslim, orthodoxy Muslim, not the progressive Muslims.
Okay.
That is the reason why Jinnah got upset with Gandhi to begin with. This was further, if you look at IRDF, Assam's party, it has risen before MIM. It is purely based on Muslim votes. It is purely based on support for illegal Muslim migrants from Bangladesh. So this kind of, the Muslim League in Kerala, it's existing because of its identity. So IMIM is not some new monster you're talking about. It's just assertion of the identity of Muslims as they grow bigger in population, one thing.
Now, what do you mean by as they grow bigger in population?
See, their vote
There is
bank
no-
becomes
there is
bigger.
no
So
evidence.
see, what are they doing? They're appealing the vote bank or creating a fear psychosis, one. Secondly, if you look at the Sachar Committee report, 60 years of Congress rule,
Yeah.
Muslims have suffered a lot. Look at the Muslim report in West Bengal. Marxist rule stayed for 30 years and Muslims are the worst lot in the economy. This unhappiness with wrong notion of secularism where you can just pamper them for votes and don't give them anything in economic progress, that is the result why people like
Now,
MIM come up.
so what I'm hearing you arguing is that there's been a historical trend of identity politics in different forms, that even among Muslim
It
groups...
comes on and off.
Sorry?
It will rise, it will fall. If the central party like Congress was powerful, identity politics drop down.
Okay.
Like BJP has risen, identity politics slowly drop down. But it will remain because if the grievance is genuine, Assam Gana Parishad, for example, rose, TDP rose, they rose because there are grievances.
Now, Shaina, one of the criticisms against the BJP is that it has actually made no organizational effort to reach out to Muslim voters. If this election is about development, then development is a slogan that should touch all. But even in the number of tickets you give Muslim candidates, I think this time the BJP gave 2, 1 was disqualified, so you ended up having 1 Muslim candidate. No, 2 tickets were given. 2 tickets were given, 1 candidate got disqualified, 1 ended up fighting the election. Mr. Modi on the one hand made a very powerful statement saying Indian Muslims are so patriotic they will defeat the Al-Qaeda. But has the party made an organizational effort to reach out to Muslims?
Barkha, I don't think it's about tokenism to say that I gave so many Muslims and that's why I am for the community. It is your sentiment, and 2014 Lok Sabha elections itself prove that the fact that we have won so many seats, it couldn't have been without the support of the Muslims, the Dalits, the Christians, etc. in so many constituencies. Even in Maharashtra, you will realize the fact that we're from 46 to 123.
You're saying that there has to be some Muslim support.
There has been a lot of Muslim communities.
One point, in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, when BJP contested so many seats and there was a Modi wave across the country, every Tom, Dick and Harry won that election except Shahnawaz Hussain. Now what does that indicate? Shahnawaz Hussain happened to be a senior leader of the BJP.
So what do you think it proves?
I don't agree to the point that Muslims are supporting BJP or Hindus are voting for the Muslim candidates, because everybody wins except Shahnawaz Hussain.
Zafar Sureshwar.
The local issues there were totally different.
I'll tell you. See the Congress party, for example, which is thriving on Muslim politics. In last Lok Sabha, there were 29 Muslims. Barkha, out of those 29, 19 were such who did not speak a single word in 5 years. And out of those 19, 10 belong to Congress party. Those Muslims, they are only rubber stamps. And there are only two people who spoke ever. One was Owaisi and second was Shahnawaz in those days. So Muslims don't want these rubber stamps.
But shouldn't they have greater
No,
representation?
I'll tell you, BJP, we'll check BJP after 5 years, because what was the problem with the Muslims in this country? For 65 years, the Congress party and their supporters, the allies, they treated Muslims as doormats. I mean, wherever they were used to count for votes, they would think, oh, ye Musalman to hamari jeb mein. So Muslims hamari jeb mein. BJP would think that Muslims हमको vote नहीं करेंगे, so Muslims had double whammy. The day Muslims started voting for BJP, this has happened now, and the day these people started thinking that Muslims can defeat them, now the situation will change.
Tavleen, much has been said about the Congress's failure, the defiling of secularism, all of that. But does the BJP, now that it is ruling the country, owe it to the minorities of this country, Muslims or otherwise, to make a greater effort to make themselves seem like an option for them as well?
Without question. And the only person in the BJP who has done it so far is the Prime Minister.
And
but
how has he done it, according to
unfortunately,
you?
he's got this baggage with him from the RSS. Because the RSS has shown no sign. I was having a discussion earlier. For a start, it's actually anti-India, the RSS. Because Indian studies, they haven't supported. Indian classical institutes, they don't support. They just support issues that target minority communities.
So you're saying the RSS has become baggage for Narendra Modi?
Yes. That's all.
Ratan Sharda, would you agree?
See, right now I'm not interested in whether Modi is a baggage for RSS or RSS is a baggage for Modi, you know. It's a waste of arguments. My point is
It is
RSS...
not, excuse me.
Excuse me.
You're
Let me
riding
speak.
in on
Let me
his
speak.
back.
I don't know who rode whose back, so please.
I do.
It's a mutual, you know, it's a mutual power. It's a mutual, you know, it's a mutual strength. Point one. Yeah, point. RSS is uniting Hindus. 80% of India, even if you leave aside other 20, are Hindus.
Sir, but if the RSS is uniting Hindus, then why criticize the MIM for uniting Muslims?
I'm not
Did
I criticize? I didn't.
You don't criticize.
No. I am saying MIM is the result of wrong policies of secularism and not giving Muslim due place in politics.
Syed Mirza and then Sanjay.
So it is not being anti-Muslim or anything.
Okay,
It's a rhetoric that you have created.
We've lost poetry in this entire debate. I think this nation has lost its sense of poetry. Beyond RSS and Congress and MIM, etc., there's a sense of poetry of what made this country unique across the world. We've lost it. We've become bigoted, narrow-minded, vicious and violent. We talk about development, there are thousands upon thousands of riots that occur, big, small, indifferent. Right now, as we speak, minor little skirmishes are already occurred in Trilokpuri because the elections are going to be occurring in Delhi. Where are we heading? Kisko ullu bana rahe? They talk about appeasement politics. You're right. The Congress has played its rollout, so is the BJP, and so perhaps will the MIM play its rollout.
Yeah.
But my argument is somewhere else. You judge a nation's civility and its dignity by how it treats its weakest sections, and do you give them that dignity?
Okay, Shaina, before you come, Kumar, that is a lament, but the fact is it runs completely counter to the other arguments being made that India is changing.
Well, actually this development, which has become a new buzzword, presumes that there was no development for last 65 years, which is completely absurd. Totally absurd. So much development has taken place on which Modi and BJP are riding. The point is, development is a text. The subtext is communalism, Hindu communalism. Why Modi did not stop Yogi Adityanath in UP? Why Narendra Modi did not stop all the communal campaign in Muzaffarnagar? So let us not be fooled. Let us not be fooled by this language of development.
I want Shaina to respond. I want Shaina.
One more thing to
Okay,
that.
Kindly don't write off Congress party in the whole debate.
Questions, anybody?
The BJP chief, Mr. Amit Shah. There are serious charges of him against him leveled in court right now.
So let Shaina respond to this. Shaina, okay, one minute. Many different questions raised here. In particular, that the BJP looks the other way when some of its fundamentalist leaders are set free, like a Yogi Adityanath.
But Barkha, let me please say, when we talk about development, does it segregate to say the development is only for Hindus and not for Muslims and not for the economically poor? What has the Congress done for 60 years? You've made sure that the economically downtrodden continue to stay there.
Martian adventure, even Martian adventure Modi claims to himself, which has been a completely project launched by Nehru and performed by Dr. Manmohan Singh.
Who will try to continue cherry pick and pick on incidents which have taken place as stray incidents. Do I say that that is right? No. Does Modi ji say it's right? It's not. He is talking about taking this country forward, not on freebies and sops and subsidies, but by empowering every single Indian.
Okay, my question is, we started off discussing the MIM, Tavleen, we're back to discussing Narendra Modi. There are those who think there is a link between the fundamentalists on this side and the fundamentalists on this side, that they are mirror images of each other. The Yogi Adityanath mirrors an Akbaruddin Owaisi.
I think it's more complicated than that. I think that because the Congress party distorted all ideas of secularism, you know, let's never forget 1984, and I'm saying this as a Sikh, the worst pogrom in the history of India. It wasn't 2002 because Hindus and Muslims died. In Delhi, only Sikhs died at the hands of the Indian state. And no justice has been done. It's 30 years since that horrible event. So because of that distortion, you got the rise of the BJP in the first place with the Ayodhya movement. Yeah. But I really believe that this Lok Sabha election, the voter has shown that he has gone ahead of the political party.
I hope you're right.
Okay.
And the only politician who's picked that up is Narendra Modi, which is why he got
I'll let Sanjay Nirupam come in just a moment, but there's a question here. Yes.
You were belonging to a secular party. You had come up with the Sachar committee stating that the representation of Muslims in the bureaucracy was 2.5%, whereas the population of Muslims is 14% in India. So why wasn't the recommendations of the Sachar committee implemented during your regime?
Sanjay Nirupam, I think it's an indication of a cynicism that a Muslim voter feels.
Let him just himself is a product of identity politics.
Sorry?
On a lighter note, Sanjay Nirupam himself is a product of identity politics of Shiv Sena.
Earlier from the Shiv Sena, let's not forget.
Another committee to answer that question.
Okay, but speaking today as a congressman. Okay.
You're right.
Sachar committee was constituted by Congress government or UPA government, and the idea behind that was to find out the reasons, problems of the Muslim community, and it was rightly found out. A 15-point program was planned, it was implemented. The whole target was the upliftment of Muslim community, and a lot of things has been done, but still a lot of things has to be done.
Barkha, that was the biggest sham, because Sachar report, Sachar committee report was a diagnostic report. For God's sake, how is this doctor who has got my report कि मेरे में खून कितना कम है, मेरा diabetes है, sugar है, and they are not acting on it. So they are waiting for me to die.
One more thing. I want to go a little deeper than this.
The genesis of
Sir, आप चुनाव जीते हो, हम हारे, हमको तो बोलने दो. आप तो जीत गए हो, अब तो हमें बोलने दो.
बोले, okay.
भाई आप कैसे डॉक्टर हो कि मेरा रिपोर्ट आपके पास है और मेरा इलाज नहीं कर रहे हैं?
मैं एक बात कर रहा हूँ, आप जीते हो, हम हारे हैं, अब तो हमें बोलने दो भाई.
मैं तो आपको पूछ रहा हूँ,
मुद्दा क्या है?
Sorry,
मेरे पास 5-7 साल नहीं थे. After 1947, Congress was in power in India and several states.
Yes.
And we really worked hard. And whatever has happened in India, that is only because of Congress party. And that's why whatever has not happened in India, Congress party is responsible for that. And that is what being spread all over the community, all over the society.
Okay.
And that is what
I have to take a question now. I have to take a question here. Yes.
As a youth in India, I'm saddened by the fact that the coming of BJP to power is associated with Achhe Din. Just today morning I was reading the newspaper and I read Devendra Fadnavis, the Chief Minister, has cases of riots registered against him.
I'm glad you read that question.
Let her respond.
Because do a little bit of reality check on Devendra Fadnavis and you will find out that he is the cleanest politician in Maharashtra. If you agitate on the streets for a cause, do you know that you are arrested? if you agitate for something against
That
the
is communal
government,
right case.
one second, in that, by that count, I have been arrested on so many counts. So you need to really segregate as to what is a criminal offense. Is it rape, murder, kidnapping, etc., or has it been for some kind of activism?
This debate will go on. Let's take another question.
Okay, I think the winning of the Muslim party is a portent for bigger conflicts of growing protectionism, racism, sons of soil policy, which we've seen these in recent times. My question is, what is your take on uniform civil code?
Once again, now that's a whole different show. But I want to get Imtiaz in on this point, that the rise of a party like the MIM is basis for deeper conflict. Do you endorse the hate speech of Akbar Owaisi, your leader? I know I'm putting you in an awkward position, but you've been a journalist. As a journalist, we would have criticized somebody like Akbar Owaisi for that speech. Today you're contesting on the same party. Can you criticize the Praveen Togadiyas or the Yogi Adityanaths of the world if you also do not criticize Akbar Owaisi's hate speech?
Barkha, I don't want to name anybody, but we respect the constitution, we respect the rule of the law. The thing is, if ImtiazJaleel speaks anything against anyone, there should be a frame. You can't cross that line. If I have crossed that line, please for God's sake, take action against me.
But did Akbar Owaisi cross that line? Didn't Akbar Owaisi cross that?
Unless and until action is taken, these things will continue.
Did Akbar Owaisi not cross the same line that we accuse a Praveen Togadia or a Yogi Adityanath of crossing? I mean,
Barkha, in fact, there's a difference.
Well, what is the difference? What is the difference?
There's a difference between Togadia and Asaduddin Owaisi's speeches. Asaduddin Owaisi uses choicest abuses for fellow Muslims. Whoever is outside his thinking, so that is the difference. At least Togadia doesn't use such kind of abuse for Hindus.
As Akbar Owaisi did. Yes. Akbar Owaisi, in that speech that sent him to jail, he said there was nothing in India till the Muslims came. And if we go anywhere, we will take the Taj Mahal and the Red Fort, and there'll be nothing left of India, meaning he spat upon Indian civilization. That is anti-national. When you say that there's nothing in India except Islam and Islamic culture, that is anti-India.
There is something very overt, there is something covert. In Kerala, for example, this Ramzan, in all the 4 Muslim majority districts, midday meal was stopped. It was not covered by media, nobody else, it was covered by one paper. Midday meal was stopped in 4 of the Muslim majority districts. Was it not a kind of covert, suppression of the people's need for nutrition? What was it?
But the administration could have easily taken action, and I totally agree with what Tavleen is saying. Please, for God's sake, take action. There are votes in the country.
Admin belongs to Muslim League. That cooperative housing societies should not give membership to Muslims.
I think
why is it so? Only Akbaruddin Owaisi goes in jail for 2 months.
But Kumar made a public statement which was televised that don't allow Muslims to become members of your society, housing society.
And he doesn't go in jail even for my
question, but Kumar, are these mirror images of each other? Are these the same kind of politics? Whether it's Hindu or Muslim, aren't they the same kind of politics?
Inevitable. The mirror image is inevitable. The moment one communalism starts, other communalism will begin.
Okay.
Akbaruddin Owaisi will go to jail for 50 days, Togadia will never go to jail for even 1 day. This is the balance.
Exactly.
This is what they're saying.
Why this discrimination? If Akbar Owaisi can go to jail for 2 months, and there are cases pending in Maharashtra against Praveen Togadia.
Okay, Shaina, quick response, and I've got to go to a break.
There are 100 cases against Raj Thackeray.
Okay, you're all speaking together. One minute, Zafar Sareshwala, you're from, you know Gujarat well. Praveen Togadia and Narendra Modi have been at loggerheads for years. Go ahead with your comment.
See, I'll tell you, Gujarat was a tinderbox, Prior to 2002, every 2 years there used to be a massive riot. After 2002 till 2014, for 12 years, there was not a single day of riot.
Except last month.
That was also very a minor skirmish. Now, Togadiyas of the world were totally decimated in Gujarat. And this Mr. Togadia used to give this hate speeches not in Gujarat. All his hate speeches were outside Gujarat.
No. Even in Gujarat.
In those 12 years
against Muslims allowed
that was
let me also add.
Okay, 1 minute.
Shahi Imam also.
Who was not arrested? 1 minute. Ratan Shah, you're trying to say something. Who was not arrested?
Shahi Imam, Delhi. He has a lot of cases against him.
1 minute.
The need is law have to be strong.
Yeah.
Police has to be depoliticized. Whoever breaks the law, arrest him.
Okay, I have to take a break.
Let me give
One sentence.
all the times Shiv Sena or BJP, they claim that whenever they come to power, no right take place. The point is, they are the perpetrators of right. If they are in the power,
but the 92, 93 riots we were sitting in Mumbai happened when the
whenever
Congress
they are in
was running
opposition,
Maharashtra.
whenever they are in opposition,
Excuse me.
whenever,
Let's not forget.
one minute, whenever,
Remember the
let me
Sri
complete.
Krishna Commission
Let-
report.
let-
It
let-
happened on
let-
the Congress
Barkha,
watch.
please, whenever
It is what happened on the
whenever-
Congress watch.
Can I explain myself?
Not a single
Okay, okay, okay.
Can I explain?
Okay, okay.
Whenever BJP is not in power, riots take place there.
But when the
Whenever
Congress
they are in power,
Whenever we are
yes,
in power,
there are aberrations as far as the Congress party is concerned.
Okay, I'll let
but BJP survives
think you
on
know
the
how many-
Hindu.
I've got to take a break, but Tavleen, quickly to that and a
I don't
question
think
here.
you know how many riots have taken place. Syed, please.
I know. Don't
Okay.
teach me all these things.
No,
Try to understand.
you must
Try to understand the
analyze. You must
basic
analyze.
structure of BJP and
You don't have to
RSS.
shout at
Okay, let Tavleen speak. Let Tavleen speak now. Sanjay, you made
Let
a
me
point.
complete. Let me
Sanjay.
complete.
this is why the Congress has lost.
What happened? What happened? The brand of politics, brand of politics of RSS and BJP is nothing but polarization.
Okay, now you've gone on a long time. Tavleen, go ahead.
I'm astounded. What happened in 1984 in Delhi?
Or 92,
No, Baba.
right?
What happened? Everybody knows.
That I know, Baba. What about Meerut, Moradabad, Rampur, I mean Bhagalpur? How can you even talk like
Bhagalpur is
you
the only
Okay.
right.
I'm interrupting you, Sanjay.
Most of the
Sanjay,
time.
not a very effective argument. I'm going to take a question.
With all due respect, sir, having been such a responsible journalist in the past, isn't it just saying an eye for an eye when you argue on behalf of Mr. Owaisi and say that why shouldn't Togadia go to jail? Aren't we not looking at who should go to jail, but rather the whole idea of equalization making it illicit?
Okay, let's take another.
Mr. Zafar, do you think that BJP is anti-Muslim?
Zafar Sareshwala, is BJP anti-Muslim?
Yeah, once upon a time, about 20 years back, BJP's plank was anti-Muslim.
In 1992, Babri Masjid, Advani was there, Uma Bharti was there.
I'm saying, yes, it's
It is not.
No, I'm saying, yes.
Okay, let him answer. Kumar, let him answer.
Campaign on the basis of Mandir
Yes.
in 98, 99.
Yes.
Okay, let him
Yes,
answer.
it was. But as I said, you need to reinvent. And one, you have to give credit to Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi has brought BJP out of that abyss.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Absolutely. BJP was anti-Muslim. Its plank was anti-Muslim.
Mohan Bhagwat
but
gave
now
a speech.
I
Mohan
don't
Bhagwat
see.
gave
I
a speech on All India Radio and TV and
I
said,
don't.
Okay, I have to take a break.
Modi has not given
agenda.
that.
Okay, we're taking a break. Okay, we're taking a break. We're taking a break. When we come back, last comments. A complete division on this panel on the power of identity politics. Some believe it's still very much there, alive and kicking. Others say it's on a sharp decline. What does the MIM represent? Does it not represent a kind of identity politics? And if so, is that a healthy option for India's Muslims? Coming back for final comments after the break.
The Muslim community, the Dalits have realized that we are not getting the due that we should have got by the so-called secular parties.
So you're agreeing that the so-called secular parties,
yeah.
It's interesting that the exact same phrase is used by the Hindu parties and the Muslim parties. For secularism today has become one of the most abused words, abused political concepts.
Unfortunately, secularism has been abused, and not only by Congress party but by everybody. Narendra Modi refuses to wear skull cap of Muslims but doesn't mind wearing skull caps of any other religion.
Welcome back. You're watching We the People from Mumbai. We're debating what the successful debut of the Hyderabad-based MIM represents for politics in India. Before we take final comments from our panel, let's just take a quick couple of questions.
I just wanted to ask you, the Congress party, why are you blind to the fact that it is not a victory of the MIM, but it is a loss, it is a failure for the Congress party?
That's a good point. Let's take another question here. Not so much a victory for the MIM, but a failure of the Congress.
I think with the rise of a Muslim party, will it not lead to a counter-polarization of the Hindu votes towards a Hindu right? And is that not bad for the Muslims themselves, because it will result in a consolidation of a Hindu vote bank?
Imtiaz, quick response to that. How is this a healthy option for the Muslim voter? Do they really need a Muslim party?
Barkha, let me tell you, MIM wouldn't have got the response that it got in this election if the Congress and the NCP, who traditionally treated Muslims and the Dalits and the other backward classes as their vote bank, without actually giving them share in the power. If they had done that, MIM would not have found any space in Maharashtra. Because they have not done that, we had to come here, and the response that we got was simply because of the fact that the Muslim community, the Dalits, have realized that we are not getting the due that we should have got by the so-called secular parties.
So you're agreeing that that the so-called secular parties, it's interesting that the exact same phrase is used by the Hindu parties and the Muslim parties. For secularism today has become one of the most abused words, abused political concepts.
Unfortunately, secularism has been abused, and not only by Congress party but by everybody. Narendra Modi refuses to wear skull cap of Muslims, but doesn't mind wearing skull caps of any other religion. That means clearly,
will this baggage continue to haunt Narendra Modi?
He discriminates against Muslims, so it will have a reaction.
Okay, Tavleen.
Only for Kumar Ketkar. I don't think it matters anymore.
It does matter. Identities matter.
Okay, let us speak.
Identities matter. Identities cannot be wished away. Identities should not be used as politics.
No, one minute. If you start off on 2002, you have to remember what the Congress's record has been in killing Muslims. It's been much, much better. Okay?
Surely you mean it's been much worse?
Much worse.
Yeah.
Much better at the record.
Ironic. Yeah. Okay.
But this is all back to action-reaction politics.
But listen,
that you acted like this, so we acted like
rubbish.
This is dangerous. In fact, Narendra Modi said it is action-reaction politics.
I can't argue with nonsense.
But so did Rajiv Gandhi. So did Rajiv Gandhi.
I'm not defending Modi or the BJP. What I am saying is, because secularism has been poisoned by the secular parties, you will get little things like the MIM, but I don't think it's a threat to India.
Okay, last two questions here. Yeah, go ahead.
As MIM won based on communalism and identity politics, would it move forward and the agenda would, the vision would widen to secularism now?
Trust me, after 19th October, when the results came out, I have been moving around. I have been going to non-Muslims and telling them now the politics has to end. We have to work for the development. And when we are talking about development, we are not just talking about development of the Muslims.
In this campaign to build 1,000 mosques?
But Barkha, tell me,
had a Hindu politician said build 1,000 temples, we would have pounced on them.
Barkha,
so
what is the problem if Aurangabad builds a mosque and names it after Babri Masjid? Because Babri Masjid was a symbol in India which was demolished. If you have
tomorrow somebody will say build 1,000 temples and name them Ram Mandir.
Ironically, Barkha,
there are already several.
I mean, you know what I'm saying. I'm saying, is this what voters need?
The problem is everybody is thinking that MIM is a Muslim party. You please go through the details of MIM. You'll find so many Dalit candidates.
And Hindu.
Tell me, one political party in Maharashtra which has had 3 consecutive mayors, Dalit mayors in Hyderabad Municipal Corporation.
Okay, listen, I'm out of time. I'm out of time. I'm going to take 2 questions together and the last comments from all of you. Yeah.
The Muslims basically need a better life. They want progress. But why is it that Akbaruddin Owaisi still has to say, let's build 1,000 mosques? Can't you also follow the same development rhetoric? If the Hindu party is saying that let's build 1,000 Ram temples, you also have to say let's build 1,000.
Okay, let's park that. Imtiaz, you could have said let's build 1,000 hospitals. I think that's the point. Let's take a comment here.
Sir, you said that Narendra Modi took out the whole anti-Muslim image from the BJP. But you look at the Lok Sabha election results this time, which has 4% Muslim representation, which is actually the lowest in the Indian democratic history.
Okay, these are last comments, 30 seconds each please, I'm out of time.
See, I'll tell you, coming to the moot point, identity politics cannot work. Maybe initially it would have started, but ultimately people, Jaleel and also Baikala candidate Waris Pathan, after 5 years people will ask him, what have you done for the constituency?
Okay, so that's a good point, that even if you get voted in on the basis of identity, you will be measured by performance.
On your performance.
Okay, Ratan Shah, the last comment very briefly.
Talking about MIM, not a threat at all. I'll ask him if he believes in Sarva Dharma Sambhav, which is basically respect for all religion. Does he believe that truth can be owned by everybody? All gods are equal if he believes that, because Islam doesn't believe this. If he believes this, there is no problem. there is no problem with the kind of politics they play.
Quick response to that.
Yes, definitely we respect all religions, and I have been telling people that once elections are over, please for God's sake, forget about politics. Get together to work for the country. I'm an Indian first and then a Muslim.
Okay.
I'm a true nationalist.
Okay. Syed Mirza, you're in a sense the most cynical on this panel about where we're headed. Why do you not feel? Why do you not feel there's a churn? No, the question is why do you not feel?
What is common among all this? Muslims. Where are we at? And I tell you, a future. As we talk about development, are we aware of the number of jobs that are actually being created, and the number of people coming out of 10th, 12th, and university and they're looking for work? I worry about the social forces that are going to be released when that tension mounts up, and that social tension mounts up. And what are the forces that are going to be released to counter basic angst of the people of India beyond Muslims and Hindus and Sikhs and Christians? It worries me.
Shaina, are we looking away from these simmering tensions?
I think India has always wanted strong leaders, has been inspired by charismatic leaders. But in the 21st century, there's one difference. You could be a fabulous Hindu leader, a fabulous Muslim leader, but if you don't perform, you clearly perish. Look at our last election, Raj Thackeray, the entire hysteria. He won 13 seats. Today, he's not even won. What is the reason and the logic?
That's a good point.
The voter is extremely intelligent, and religion we could be discussing. They want jobs, infrastructure.
Sanjay, is that a lesson for the Congress that secularism can no longer be the slogan to distinguish you, that you count on that to be the distinguishing feature alone?
No, secularism is not just slogan for Congress party.
It's not.
No, not at all. It is just a slogan. It is our fundamental ideology. Look at the scene. A party which is only talking about Hindus claim to be secular. Another party which is only talking about Muslims.
No, we are not talking only about Muslims. We are not talking only about Muslims.
This is injustice to me. This is injustice to me.
Okay,
and Congress party, which is taking care of Hindus and Muslims and other communities.
But nobody is voting for you.
But
only they have taken care of.
Those things are discarded long back.
This is injustice to me.
No.
Let me complete.
You can't keep playing the victim
No,
card.
I
have to end. Kumar and Taveen get the last word. Sanjay, you made your point.
No, I've not made my point.
Sanjay, I'm out of time. I really am.
This is wrong. This is wrong.
One sentence.
My point is, Congress party has lost this election. That doesn't mean it is going to lose all the elections. Congress party has won so many elections. Okay, no problem. We have lost this election. We are going to win again.
Okay. Last word.
Why are you worried?
Okay, Kumar and Tavleen get the last word. 30 seconds.
Well, actually, the only identity India should have is the secular identity. Your religion is completely private affair.
Absolutely.
And secularism is not a Congress ideology. It is an Indian ideology. Congress may have misplaced it wrongly. Congress may have lost the fifth, but secularism is the main identity. Congress and others are reflections.
The Hindus of this country are secular. That's why India is secular, and Muslims have been able to.
This is another mythology.
No, it's not a mythology.
Okay, this will reopen the whole debate. Tavleen, last word.
I don't think secularism is an issue anymore. It's a given. It's like saying I'm not anti-Dalit. I'm sorry, it's a given. For young people in India, wherever I have gone during these election campaigns, it's not an issue. What they want are the jobs that he's talking about. 12 million young Indians come into the workforce every year. There are no jobs.
Yeah, I think we'll have to leave it there. This debate will reach no consensus. The debut of the MIM has given us a talking point, but there are others who believe these tensions they've gone underground, but they're still there. Still others who believe India's in a moment of churn and change, and the young voter at least is not interested in the masjid or the mandir. They see that as a private space. They're interested in the jobs, in aspiration, in dreaming. Will that be possible? Will our politics permanently offer that dream? That's the big question. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Thank you.